Welcome to the second episode of the 34 Sports Podcast. I would like to thank everyone for the huge support on the first episode. With all the support, that only makes me want to do this more consistently. For today's podcast, I'm joined again by Raptor.
Hello.
Our topics today are mostly centered around basketball because this was a slow week in sports and basketball was really the only thing that produced much to talk about. Our first bit of news came out several days ago out of the bubble down in Orlando. There's a shakeup in the Philadelphia 76ers system. As I talked about somewhat in depth last week, the 76ers needed a change, and it seems as though that has happened. Members of the 76ers staff have stated that second-year guard Shake Milton will now be the starting point guard for the team. This position was previously secured by former Rookie of the Year Ben Simmons. Soon after, it also came out that Coach Brent Brown was experimenting with Ben Simmons at the power forward position. Is this a game changer for the 76ers team?
See, for me, when it comes to this, Ben Simmons is successful at the point guard because he has height. He knows his playmaking abilities, but at the same time, we know Shake Milton can do it. He dropped 50. We saw that.
I don't know about, I
But
think it was 40, but he did have a lot.
I'm thinking for Shake to be the point guard that the 76ers want or need, he needs to be, I would say, a 15 to 20 a night, maybe 5, 6 plus assists. And I feel like he could be successful. He just needs to get in the gym and work a lot, or a bit at least, on his playmaking abilities. And then you got Ben Simmons at the power forward, which I
He,
know he was meant to be the point guard. I really think he'll be successful beside Embiid.
well, Simmons has an underrated post game anyway, and he can't get to it as much with Embiid, but with them running him down there, it's going to be different now. And with Shake Milton, I looked at his numbers for this year, and he shot 49%, and he shot
Which
45
is,
from
yeah,
three, which is really good.
that's a good clip.
He averaged 9.5 and 2.2 assists, but that's a little bit the stats are a little bit adjusted though because that was part of his season was when Embiid was there, when Embiid and Simmons weren't hurt, and then when he came in, he really started putting up points. So that drops his stats. But if he keeps shooting like that, it should transfer. He
And
should
I feel
fit.
like as a point guard, you need to be able to shoot, and I think that's what Ben was lacking was his ability to shoot the ball, right? Like I know he
Well,
was working on it.
well,
He
I
might be able
just
to work on it now
well, I just
more.
saw today that Snell said now you got to start shooting or something to that effect, and Ben Simmons just commented Orlando, so that might mean he's going to start fairly soon shooting, which could be good for the Philadelphia 76ers with a long run because I don't know, the seeding games might hurt it, but I know for this first couple 3 games of the seeding tournament part, there's gonna be people just sagging off of Ben because they're not used to him shooting threes, and he can drop those in now. If well,
And the
we'll
thing about
see if
Ben
he
is
we'll see.
Ben is scary if he can get a shot
He's
because
scary
we
when
know
he
his size.
drives.
I know, but add a shot to that, it's not going to be easy to guard.
Well,
So
yeah.
at all.
I mean, that's how LeBron still does as well now is because he expanded his range, and people don't know whether he's gonna
LeBron,
drive or
he still
slash,
has his
whether he's
slashing
gonna drive.
ability
Yeah.
for sure, but I think LeBron is, I wouldn't say extremely transition, but he's definitely changed his game,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's shooting a lot more now.
Yeah.
Like, a lot more.
I mean, that too. I mean, that could help Simmons too, to keep him out of the paint, so Embiid can go to work a little bit too if he can shoot more.
Because we know Embiid loves his post game when he
Bec-
gets in there.
well, yeah, and it goes the same with saying about Giannis, how you know you can stop him down low. If you know Embiid and Simmons just want to pound it down low, you could discard that. But if they both can, which I know Embiid can at least 30% shoot from outside, that makes it a little bit harder for them. And if those two,
Because if Embiid or Simmons, they can, well, Embiid has his three ball, and if Simmons develops it, you can have. Let's say if Simmons wants to post up, you can have Embiid in like the corner of the wing. And then if Embiid wants to post up, you can have Ben mid range to 3 point, or both of them down there at once. Probably not, but
Well, no,
it's good to have Ben with the shot now.
you wouldn't want Simmons down at the same time though, because what it's gonna do is you're gonna have two defenders that can double up on him and beat, which could
Well,
work in their
agreed.
favor too, but it not generally when you
Yeah,
double it does. But I mean, on smaller teams like the Rockets, they could really torch a team like the Rockets if they don't if they didn't let that team get in a fast break and slow down the ball and just get it.
yeah. The Rockets are a different story for another day, but they're small ball. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but
Yeah, I don't
that's a
know.
different.
But back with the Sixers, they could even do the run and gun style too, especially with Simmons. It's gonna be interesting because it brings a little bit more versatility to their lineup because now Simmons can sneak around the court and kind of not. He's not. Everybody's not staring at him bringing the ball up because he's an elite slasher. He had to use his for. I think he's 6'10" and his handles are guard like.
6'10", yeah.
It's just. I mean, he's got 2 inches on LeBron, and he's like a taller LeBron if you really think about it. If he
And
gets the
now
three
that
ball.
Ben isn't like you said, he's not the center of attention. He can make those backdoor cuts. He can move around the ball, maybe get some off-ball screens or something, but he's not gonna be the center of attention per se. Like he'll still get his attention. He's Ben Simmons, but he won't be as like watched. I'd say he'll be
Well,
able to do a little bit more
Well,
on-ball
until they
movement for
see what he
sure.
can, if he starts going off, they're gonna start watching him. But these
Then they're gonna
first
have their
couple of
eyes on him again,
this
even more.
the seeding games, if this goes well, will be fun to watch the Sixers in because if they can get it going, I don't know how deep they can go in the playoffs. I would say maybe the second round with not using this lineup as much. Like if they've been doing this for half a season, maybe, but just to throw it in now. But I mean, anything's up in the air at this point, so who knows? I mean, we don't really.
It's one of those things that nothing is like known right now. Teams that were the favorites before this probably, I mean, they're still thought as the favorites, but there's some teams that are going to surprise some people. Notably the Trailblazers, honestly.
Well, they got to make it in, but if they can make it in, we'll see.
Yes, for sure.
Philly could. I mean, like this is big because if they could work this out, this could really be good for them. The only thing I see is that if Tobias Harris has got to fix his inconsistency for this to work. Because they paid him I think it was 5 years, 180 million, and he kind of played lackluster all season. And so did Al Horford. Both of those guys got to pick it up.
And be more, yeah, definitely more like Tobias can have a 30-point game and then the next day drop 6 points.
Maybe six man. I don't know, but I don't think they have a really good backup three. Yeah, he's got to
No, they
start.
don't.
He's got to start. I mean, you could
Yeah.
try. I mean, they say they're playing him at the four, but if you bring Horford in for defense and play Embiid, I mean Simmons at the three, that could work too with Tobias off the bench. But I don't. I see more with Tobias starting and Simmons at the four.
Yeah, I can see, yeah, for sure. And like you said, if they can make this work, if Shea can play the point guard effectively, if Ben can move effectively off the ball and just get his space and get his shots and his dunks and all that stuff, and Tobias is more consistent, the same with Horford, I really think that team could be a scary team in the future. They could be a scary team over these next however many months they're there, however many months they last, because it's a different story for every team, right? But
Yeah,
I feel like if they get it going, watch out for the 76ers for sure.
I think if this works, they're at least making it to second round, if not farther. I don't.
Yeah,
We'll have to
I'd
see.
say
We'll have to
second
see
round.
because I haven't seen I haven't seen him play any games. This is all just talk at this point. But
Yeah,
I mean, they were one shot away from the conference finals last year. So I mean,
And to me, it wasn't even their fault. Like,
I
like
mean, they
really,
did
buddy,
all
it
they
was.
could do. That was one of the luckiest shots I've seen in a while.
An NBA. I wouldn't say well, it might be an NBA history because let's be honest, those bounces were
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't. I mean, yeah, the bounces.
It was just insane. But like I said, I think the 76ers could really make this work, and if they do, I think they'll be a good team. Not just for these next few months, but for a couple years, to
Well,
be
yeah,
honest.
because if they didn't figure something out, either Simmons or Embiid was going down the road. I honestly thought they should have pulled for D'Lo mid-season if they weren't, because I didn't see them. I thought they were gonna force. It's not really a force because Simmons could be an elite point guard, but for their system, it was a force to keep Simmons at the point.
Yeah, but now
But
you put Ben at the power forward or the four. I think it's gonna be.
well, I
He might
remember.
play better, honestly.
I remember the year he was hurt. First year, 2K had him listed as a 3-4. And then when he started
They
playing,
did.
they
He
flipped
wasn't.
him. That's what he came out of college as. I think he played for LSU. I remember that. Yeah, he was LSU out of college. He played with D'Lo in
But
high
he
school.
was
Yeah,
never scoped as a point guard, and the
no,
76ers wanted to put him there.
yeah,
And
it's.
it wasn't the worst
I
decision.
mean,
It did work, but
yeah, I think
kind of.
this saves Brett Brown's job too because if he didn't figure it out, they were gonna find somebody else who did. Because with this, they have the talent and they've spent the money that they got to have something to show for it. At least the conference
Yeah, for
finals.
sure.
Over the last several seasons, most NBA fans have began to see a changing of the guard of sorts. Hall of Famers such as Kobe, rest in peace, Dirk, and Duncan have exited the game. Some dominant players such as DeAndre Jordan, Mark Gasol, Blake Griffin, and Chris Paul have began to fade away for various reasons. With this comes the openings for new talent to rise and work their way into the spotlight. Many teams have built well through the draft and trade deals and given them and their young talent a chance to have a prosperous future. That being said, which NBA team has the best young core to give them the best chance in the future?
I'm gonna give this first one to you. Who are you thinking?
I don't know. I can't go against Luca and Porzingis in Dallas. I really can't. That's just Luca's already proved it internationally that he can win, and his numbers were MVP stats this year. Triple doubles.
See, for me, when I'm looking at this list, I mean, I can't help but go to the obvious Zion and Zoe, to be honest. I mean,
Well,
it's
I mean,
just you have Zion, you
you
have
can't.
Zoe.
Ingram's definitely in there. Ingram's the only All Star out of any of those guys yet.
That's more of a young trio, I would say.
Yeah, you already got.
It's just a
Go.
team.
Yeah, that's already a big three right there. They just gotta let it go. It kind of reminds me. It's not the same, but it gives me the feels to OKC when they had Harden, Russ, and Durant. But it's a far different team. But I mean, Ingram compares to Durant somewhat. I mean, I'm not saying it's the same exact team because Lonzo nowhere near has the scoring ability of Westbrook, and Zion's not a Harden. He's closer to Ibaka actually, but very different. But I
Yeah.
see like a young trio that if they keep them together and add pieces, they could do something. I mean, they've already got Jackson Hayes that could start at center, in my opinion, next year. We'll see how he develops. But
Hey,
his
good.
vertical is amazing, and he plays good defense. I remember watching him down at Little Caesars. He had a couple good dunks. He can basically grab it from anywhere on the backboard they throw it off of. It's insane. And Josh
Yeah,
Hart is a glue guy who just goes out there and gives you just he can get you rebounds. He'll get a double double with rebounds at guard. I mean, you got that.
yeah.
Who you got?
John Jaren.
John Jared. Yeah, you can't forget about Brandon Clark too. He could come up into the starting lineup eventually. But yeah, John Jaren are the two pieces you're gonna want to build around, even if you lose a couple of the other guys. But
Yeah,
Ja's like Westbrook with a Chris Paul playmaker. Well, I mean, no, I can't say that because Westbrook can playmake too. But I just feel like Chris Paul is more of a last like just point guard kind of guy.
and then we know that Ja can throw that thing down.
Yeah, I mean, he almost ended Kevin Love's
Hey,
career, but we won't talk about that as much. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I
he
mean,
already wrecked his egg in that, but you know,
I mean,
we're not gonna.
he's gonna do it. It's just a matter of time. It may very well happen this season. Who knows that he'll jump over somebody?
Then he's rested. He might have, worked on those hops even more. We
Yeah,
might see it.
this is gonna help the rookies a lot with this shortened season. I don't know what you would call this. With this
Delayed season.
delayed see postponed this
Yeah,
postponement has really helped a lot of teams. I mean,
like, we've discussed, um, outside of this podcast is the last how 3-4 months, right? Am I wrong when I say that?
I think it's
Three
been
four.
4. I think it's almost 4. It will be when they start
But
before.
all players that might have been, I wouldn't say weak, but maybe a little bit fatigued, have had these 4 months to get fresh again.
Well,
And
I
I
mean,
feel
and
like
some got swole. I mean, Zion gained 20 pounds well, he gained 20 pounds, whether
pounds.
that's muscle, it's probably mostly muscle.
Speaking of gaining muscle in pounds, Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba, dude. I gotta see actual game where he actually produces in a game, but I think that'll definitely help him.
His goal.
He was a little bit skinny and could get pushed around. I don't
Now he
know. I
also,
don't see Orlando as like they don't jump off the page for me, but I mean Gordon and Bamba could be pretty good for a while.
and if this new physique helps him, you never know. He could be a defensive monster.
Speaking of new physiques, Jokic lost 50 pounds in 4 months, which is
Which
insane
is,
to me from a man that was overweight for generally his whole life to just drop 50 pounds in 4 months. Just that really doesn't seem humanly possible to me.
he looks good, and even Melo look like he dropped a few pounds too.
Melo's skinny, yeah. Carmelo's ready to go.
So I feel
But
like a lot of players have taken this time to I will improve their skills and improve maybe their body to help them. Like Mo Bamba has gone from, quite frankly, a stick to a wall. We'll see
yeah,
what happens.
we'll see if it's good for him because I know his vertical was one of his big things. I hope it didn't take away from that. But I mean, he's
And then
7 foot with long arms, so I mean, if it takes away from his vertical, he's still got his size to go back on.
I'm thinking Jokic with his skill set and his body, like and his weight loss, his speed might improve, and that could be a scary thing.
Well, for me, I'm thinking future. Like, I mean, we're talking about who's got the best future here, but I think Jokic, if he does well, they could move him to the 3, and you got like Bobo sitting in the G League right now could play your 5 because he's 7'2" with guard handles. He will not be denied for long. And then you got Michael Porter Jr., who already has proven that he can get 25 sometimes. He could be your
And
4, and
play
Jokic could be the
a
3 bringing it up. I mean, he already does most
which
of the time anyway.
that would be a scary, yeah.
I don't know if it'll work. It depends on how Jokic's athleticism is in his new frame. Another team I think could be good with everybody healthy, and I've seen some pictures and some videos on Instagram of Bagley being healthy, but the Kings with Fox and Bagley could be really good. They just paid Heald, and if Heald can keep that 40% clip from the 3-point line, just keep shooting like that. And they've got Bogdanovich, the young guy that can shoot pretty good from outside, and you got Holmes down low. You've got a starting 5 there. I don't fully trust the Kings to win a lot of games at this point, but maybe they'll change my mind in the future if they can keep that core together. Yeah, it's not the Kings of old where they just threw money at one guy like Cousins and didn't really have a team. They've really got decent young guys at every position. I mean,
Really going to be a good thing for that
yeah.
team. If they
Another,
that way.
would you go ahead?
No, I was just going to say, like, if the Kings can make that work, it's I wouldn't say it's a championship team, but it's a playoff team in
It's
my
a
opinion. It's
contender. I
definitely
think it's
a playoff.
middle of the, I think 4 or 5 possibly. I don't know in the West they can go any higher than that unless they really, really show me something. But I think a team that could that is building through the draft and they're getting really deep, and I think they should have one more good draft pick this year is the Hawks with Trey Young, John Collins, and a young Herder and a young Reddish right now. Reddish is only getting better. He had 125-point outburst towards the end of the season.
Oh, Cam can shoot that thing.
Well,
So
he was a little inconsistent this year, but I remember in high school him dropping 50 on kids. So I mean, if he can consistently get 25 on the NBA level, I think he'll be doing just fine. But
yeah.
I really have faith in the Hawks. The only thing I would like to see them get is an elite defender. Maybe they can pick up Edwards in the draft to go alongside Trey Young because Young's pretty weak at defense. It's his only issue. He can put
Those
up
two
50, but he'll
should
let the other guy he's
uh,
guarding put up like 30 on him.
yeah, but like let's say like Edwards does have more defense, but if you have both of those guys at the 1 and 2, no matter if you we'll play Trey at the 1 because he's shorter than Edwards, but those two shooting the ball, wow,
Well,
how far
If I'm the Hawks and I see Edwards on the board, I'm taking him. There'll be no doubt in my mind that's who I'm picking for them because they just got Capella when the Rockets were on a fire sale on anything that was taller than 6'7". They got him,
yeah.
and they've got that now. They got that low post defender to go with Collins, and now if they can get Edwards in there and Reddish keeps getting better and better, they've got a 5 right there. That team's looking up. The East looked a little bit better this year, but it has been weak for years. It's notably weak compared to the West. So the Hawks should definitely be able to jump in there. I mean, Detroit made it with 500 last year.
Yeah, but at the same time, you see the East, and they're becoming stronger. Like they got the Heat doing what they're doing, the Bucks doing what they're doing. The Raptors have found their groove the last year or two, and well, more than last two, but they've been finding their
Well, yeah,
groove.
they've been building.
And then yeah, it's like I think the East. I wouldn't say is as strong as the West, and like not saying that, but the East has definitely risen their skills. I would say like the
Well,
players in the team.
it makes sense because when they're worse, they're going to get the better draft picks. And you just, this last, I'd say this last 3, and I'm going to say this year is the 4th, is going to be good draft years for people to build up their teams. Because I'd say at least last year uh, with Reddish and all them, I know the top 10 are all going to be pretty good role players for their team. Most of them. I'm not going to say all of them because I'm not 100% sold on everybody yet. But this year, I think
But
you've
then
got
you got the
another
West, and
chance.
you're gonna have Melo in the West and Wiseman.
Well, depends. Well, we still got to see the draft lottery because last year I did not have any. I did not think the Pels were going to get number 1 pick last year, and that's how it went. So we got to see the draft lottery for that. But I don't know.
Yeah,
But they could go to the Knicks, they already got R.J. Barrett and Randall right now. They could build, and they had Alonzo Trier who they didn't play or not, and they've got Knox. Those are 2 good guys right there that I don't know how are going to pan out. But I think the Knicks, well, if management doesn't get in the way, could start to progress pretty good.
if the Knicks are the draft lottery pick, right, and they get Lamelo or Wiseman, whoever they decide to take, probably Lamelo. But
I don't think
if they
they.
get Lamelo,
Well, maybe they could get one. Like I said, Jeff sucked, but I,
but
re-
we never know with
I,
the. We can't really say anything until we know the draft picks, and we don't like the draft
Well, I
selections.
mean, the balls fall where the balls fall. Yeah, Silver's not going to let the Knicks get the number 1 pick because he doesn't want them to waste the number 1 pick on a franchise that's not going to make people watch. Or he doesn't want to bring publicity to that franchise with the owner. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
d
it's
it
just one of
could
those
happen,
things,
but I think there's stuff that happens behind the scenes that doesn't let the Knicks really get the best of the best, whether it be their own doing or the league's doing. But
I personally think that it's I don't know, like, I mean, we can't say anything and we don't know because, like you said, the Pels weren't really expected to get the first pick last year, but it's looking like, but it could be different. I'm thinking the Warriors are getting either LaMelo or Wiseman. It's going to be their choice.
it's good. It's yeah. I mean that yeah. That's
But
gonna
we
be
don't know. You never know.
yeah.
So
We
it's
don't
just
know.
one.
I mean, it could be another one of these teams. Who knows? Because the Pels were like 11 last year and got it, and they're 10. They could drop or go up this year. It depends. Maybe the Kings
Just
get it.
imagine if they won on it again.
I don't. I don't think
Oh,
it's gonna happen. But the Suns could get it. The Kings could get it. Minnesota could get it.
well, if the
Add
Suns
another
get
Pete.
it, who's Bucks
Imagine.
getting shipped out?
Imagine D'Lo, and then they add Ball in there or somebody. Ball and D'Lo, Lamelo
And
Ball
Cat.
and Cat. I don't know. Minnesota kind of. I'm not. I'm not. I don't. I can't remember. Even I have league pass now. I don't remember watching a Minnesota game. I really don't. They just the team. I mean, they maybe with D'Lo and Cat there together it'll change stuff, but I don't. I just don't really see positive vibes coming out of the franchise. I don't see it progressing
The Cavs also have a chance.
unless they really get yeah the kid they pulled a Utah though the Cavs didn't they drafted two point guards back to back they had drafted Sexton and Garland which makes
And to be fair, they haven't. Neither of them have done much. I mean,
I
it's not their
think
fault. They
they
just
just torch each
have.
other's touches
Yeah.
they just it I don't know I really Bulls could get it. The Bulls could use one more piece to go with everybody. They would probably
Yeah.
I don't know, they wouldn't pick a Wiseman if they got number 1, but they would pick like
They'll pick LaMelo for the point guard.
they play LaMelo at the 3 because he's 6'8" if they get him because they got Kobe White
I
at
forget
point.
about
They
that.
got Levine at the 2.
Play.
The Ball would fit at the 3, Markkinen would fit at the 4, and then Wendell Carter's going to be your 5. That could be all
And then the
right. They've got to fire.
Kobe White.
Bulls have got to fire the coach. That Jim Boylan is a horrible coach. He's been known to leave his players in and to make it as like a practice at the end of the game when they get torched.
That's just a confidence killer. That really is.
Yeah. I think if the Suns can get that number 1 pick, they've got Booker and Ayton, which is all right, but they need somebody to take the ball out of Booker's hands. Booker needs to play off-ball guard. They need somebody like a Baller and Edwards to do that. I mean, Booker could still play the
To be
1, but
honest, and that's if Booker even stays, because I've heard rumors about the Suns maybe looking to shop him.
well, it's all rumors. I mean, if they're looking up, then if Booker will be happy if he gets somebody else to play with because he's kind of on an island right now. Ayton's all right, but it's not a big man league anymore, and he's gonna have to really keep his skill set up to be relevant anymore.
Yeah, that's really true, and I have heard about. I mean, I'm not sure if this is completely true. Once again, rumors are rumors. You can't really believe them all the time. But I've heard things about the Timberwolves are like the front runners for wanting Booker.
Well, I didn't think they were gonna get D'Lo. I thought they were all just I did not think it was going to happen because I thought it was all just talk them trying to get trade stuff, but I mean they gave away one of their top pieces in Wiggins to get him, and I mean it's not like they did anything with Wiggins and Cat anyway, so
Yeah,
they
they did
needed a point guard
kind of
because they hadn't had one since Rubio, and Rubio was kind of so-so. Like he does okay on the Suns, but
he
he'd be
was
better to go back
inconsistent.
to the Euro League if he really wanted to be. I mean, he's probably making more money in the NBA, but if he wanted to play better, he would go back to the EuroLeague. But I mean, most people are going to take the money anyway.
Yeah.
A team we haven't talked about out east that's got a good core, and they got somebody that they could get rid of. We talked about that last week. Is the Pacers with Turner and Sabonis. Sabonis just became an all-star. That team, I mean, like I said, East is weaker. They could keep going. They could keep trending up, and they picked Brogdon. They basically stole him out of the Bucks. They didn't steal him because he's a restricted free agent, and the Bucks just said, "Oh, I don't want to pay him because I want to make Giannis mad and make him want to leave." But that's a separate story. But Sabonis and
Yeah.
Turner with Brogdon, if Brogdon can get running the pick and roll with Sabonis, and like we talked about with the Oladipo leaving in last podcast, that could be pretty good for them if Brogdon and Sabonis can get a good chemistry going. And Turner's gonna do what Turner does. You got I forget what's the power forward there. They stole him from the T.J. Warren. They got T.J. Warren.
Yeah.
T.J. Warren helps. I forgot to mention on the Suns that they had Oubre, but that's another piece to them. But the Pacers, they got T.J. Warren. That's another piece. They really the only thing they were missing was if Oladipo could stay healthy. But we talked about that last week. That's really up in the air at this point. And he doesn't seem like he wants to be there anymore. So
And my thing, I think Brogdon, depending on the way he develops, he might be better than Victor. I don't know. I could be wrong.
well, I mean, he's
Could
already
be.
rookie of the year. He was surprised everybody with being like a set. I think he's second rounder. Got rookie of the year that year. I don't know
Yeah.
that 2 years ago. I think yeah, because I think it
Yeah, too.
was Simmons, him, and then I don't know who got it the next year. But yeah, not Tree. Brogdon's really good. Brogdon's he can do it all. He's a good playmaker. I like him. He's a little bit
And he can shoot the ball too.
I think he's 6'7" and runs point too, if I'm not mistaken. He's either six. He's a little above size. He might be 6'5", but that's still high. That's still a tall point guard.
He move and groove, and he's just like, I feel like he can really be a good point guard, and I think he might be better than Victor Oladipo. I don't know if that's gonna work out like that, and I'm reading here that he is 6'5".
He's 6'5", all
He's
right,
not
but he's still taller than the
that
normal
height.
point guard.
Yeah, he's more of a traditional point. He can make the plays. He can play make. He can shoot. And I really think that he could be the good with the pick and roll with
Yeah, but
Sabonis.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Sabonis is at the highest level he's gonna be at, or if he has another tick above this to go to. I don't know if he does or
Yeah.
not, but we'll see. Uh, one more I want to talk about before we switch topics is I want to talk about. I think we've been leaving it out, but they're definitely one of the front runners. They could make conference finals this year in the East. Is Tatum and Brown and the Celtics?
I was gonna say that. I was honestly going to say that.
I mean, Tatum
That
already
is a scary comp.
Tatum's been there for years. Tatum's got experience. They were already in the conference finals and took LeBron to 7. And now they've added pieces
With
like
Jalen.
Kemba, and they've got who they got at the 4. So they got Tatum, Brown. You got Smart. That's who it is. Smart moves up, and then
Smart.
you got Brown at the 3 and Tatum at the 4, or vice versa. But the only
And then you got Tice.
yeah, you got this, yeah, but youth wise, I think
He's not really.
yeah, we got. They really need to see if Taco can become an NBA level player. He was all defensive team in the G League, and they said he really became more mobile in that time he played in the G League. So I'd like to see them bring up Taco and start him, give him like 8 off the bench, 8 minutes off the bench, somewhere in a rotation, like second quarter, early third minutes, or no, middle of the third minutes. Just see how he works, and if it's good, just keep upping the minutes. Cause he's 7'6", well 7'5", and he's built different than most 7-footers I've seen. He's bulky. He's like the Zion of 7-footers. He's like just big for a 7-footer. He's not like a
Yeah,
Sean
and like
Bradley
this.
or a Manute Bol, who's like just lengthy with basically no upper body. Well, I mean, they got upper body, but they're just not built. And Taco's different.
Like the thing is with those types of guys, like the 7'6" guys and the 7'7s and the 7'5s or whatever Taco is like you have to be good, of course, obviously, You can't just depend on your height, but it really does help. You don't really have to be the best damn player in the league to be 7'5" and just put it in the rim from a standing position.
But yeah, but he's got good hands on defense too.
He does, and like you said, he's the all defensive team in the G League, so obviously he can play defense.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just think, like you said, 8 minutes off the bench, slowly develop him, and then I would replace Tice with him if he gets to that level.
Tice is a good backup right now. He's young too. He could. I don't know how he'll progress, but I got tackle in the long run.
Yeah,
But if I really get down to it, to finish, the original question was who was the best young core. I gotta go Luke and Porzingis to just
yeah,
finish it
I
off.
would
And
say that
Luke
too.
is one of the most. He's got the most just skill. He could do it all. He's got one of the best skill sets for any player, young or old, at this point in the league, and he's already shown he can do it overseas. So I think it's only a matter of time before he breaks through and he gets an MVP or a championship or maybe both. Probably, he's going to get both
And then you
eventually, I
have
think, but maybe not in the same season.
KP being 7'3" and being an absolute sharpshooter.
Yeah, and they got the possibility of some younger guys like DeLon Wright and Dwight Powell coming into their own a little bit more off the bench, but I think I got Dallas as my best.
Yeah, I would say that too. To be honest, I really don't think there's another team to top that. I just don't.
As the TBT, the basketball tournament, came to a close, the game's intensity picked up drastically. For the first time in months, I, as a fan, got into the games. In the semis, both games were very well fought. The Golden Eagles easily passed Red Scare, the Dayton alumni team, to make it to the championship game. On the other side, it wasn't as easy, with Overseas Elite headlined by Joe Johnson and Big Three alum Frank Nitty Sessions took on Sideline Cancer, who was a Cinderella 22 seed team in this tournament. They were led by Mo Creek and Marcus Keene. In the end, Sideline Cancer finished out the game on a three by Mo Creek. Mo Creek, it was off of a pass by Marcus Keene, cross court. Mo Creek just barely caught it, went up with it, and drained it. That took out Overseas Elite, who had won 4 seasons in a row prior to last season, where they were taken out by Carmen's crew, headlined by Aaron Kraft, the Ohio State alumni team. So that put Sideline Cancer, that puts them farther. That they took on Golden Eagles on Tuesday night in the championship game. The Golden Eagles were led by former NBA player and Big Three alum Dwight Bikes. He led them in points in several of their games, and he was a big part in the game. But when it came late in the third, he actually got 5 fouls and had to sit for a good quarter and a half. But his team kept it close, and so did Sideline Cancer. But in the end, the 3-point barrage of the Golden Eagles was just too much, and the Marquette team got their first championship ever in the tournament. They had actually gotten to the semifinals the year before and lost. The MVP of the whole tournament was the Golden Eagles' Darius Johnson Odom, who averaged 16.8 points a game on 56% shooting, 47 from three. He did really good. He deserved the MVP. It was a good end to the tournament. It was up and down. It brought back basketball, and it showed that the bubble can work if people follow what they're supposed to follow. With the NBA closing in on resuming and a large amount of teams and players already in the bubble, it is almost certain that the NBA season is going to happen. With this, I wanted to give insight into what games that I think should be watched and why you should too. The first day of games brings up or could be a possibly conference finals matchup. Is what I think the game in the 30th will be the best game. Will be the Lakers versus Clippers. I think that's a no-brainer.
I mean, I can't really disagree with that. That's just a huge matchup. The Pels and Jazz isn't really a big one, to be honest. I mean,
No, it'd be fun to see Zion, but I don't see Utah. I don't. They're not gonna meet in the playoffs. I don't know if the Pels will even make it to the
but the
playoffs.
Clips versus Lakers, like you said, could be
That
a
is
conference final for sure.
that has future implications probably. It'll be interesting to see which team is ready to go straight off the bat because the Lakers are going to be thrown a little bit because You don't have Bradley, you don't have Rondo, so you're gonna have to figure out your bench a little bit, which they've had struggles with all season. And the Clippers are gonna have to come out and bring the intensity on defense, which they haven't had to in a while. So it's gonna be a good back and forth.
I think the Clippers can find their defense, though. I really don't
Yeah,
think
the
it's gonna be an
Clippers
issue.
can. It'll be interesting to see what both teams look like coming back that first game because it's
Yeah,
not
for
they just
sure.
get thrown straight into the fire first day. They got to play that matchup. They don't have any time to get used to any scrimmages really.
Well, I mean, they have been doing the practices, and I'm sure they've been scrimming.
Well, practice is never the same as a game though, but I get what you're saying. They're working their way, but we'll see how it is that day. We'll see.
Yeah.
The July 31st, I think a really big matchup is Portland and Memphis, which I think if Portland doesn't just go on a run, there's definitely going to be that playing in the West, and they're going to be playing each other at least probably 3 games because I really think Portland's getting in and Memphis isn't, and I want Portland to get in personally because I think it would be a really good matchup to see Dame against LeBron because Dame knows he's not getting any younger, so he wants to get out there and he wants to prove that. I mean, if he was to put out LeBron in the first round, he would definitely prove that he's a top player in the league.
Yeah.
But LeBron ain't gonna go down easy, and I mean, that's just it is what it is. But that will be a really good game. And what else you think
I
is a
think
good game?
the biggest matchup on that day is the Rockets and Mavericks. I just think that could be a. I wouldn't. I don't know
I
future
don't.
implications, but it's still a good matchup to
It's gonna
me.
be a
I
good
feel like.
matchup. It's Luca's first game back, Harden's first, yeah, everybody's first game.
And
Get
I'm
to
sure as a lot of other people have heard, Russ has been tested positive for Corona, so we'll see if he's back by that. Should be, or
Yeah,
at
that
least
might
should be.
have.
I don't know.
We'll have to see how his stamina is in that first game. We'll have to see if it's affected his capacity at all, but he should be all
But
right.
I think like the main game is probably the Trailblazers and Grizzlies.
I
I'm
don't know.
looking
You
at it.
kind of missed over the Bucks and Celtics for a minute there. That's going to be big. That's possible conference finals right there.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the Bucks are gonna have an issue with the Celtics. I'm sorry. I really don't see that.
Yeah, I mean that depends on. I mean Celtics have got to figure out some of their own things. Like Hayward off the bench has got to be there for him all the time. But
And the thing for the Bucks is, well, especially Greek, is the fact that he's quite frankly pissed from last season. I know it. He's gonna go in with a vengeance and have fun
well, he
playing
can.
against him.
It's gonna be have fun, but he's got to have a team around him. That's the biggest problem with the Bucks right now. He has a good team, but he doesn't have. He's got Middleton. That's really the only
Apparently,
other
they
guy.
don't
They
have
needed to
the
sign
closing
Brogdon,
line.
but I still think they're a top team and they could go as long as Middleton's there for him. They can go deep.
And if I was Giannis, I would be like, "Well, Middleton, you want to pick up a ball for the first time in 4 months?
Well,
Got
yeah.
some
I
room
mean,
here."
I don't get if I was an NBA player, there is no way. I don't care if I lived across the street from the practice facility. I gotta have a hoop somewhere in my house. Because why would you want? I don't. I guess the players, the practice facility is nice, but I wouldn't want to. Like, if I wanted to shoot at 2 in the morning, I wouldn't want to have to open up the practice facility and turn on the lights and just to go in there and shoot. I'd have something in my house. I'd have a half court ready to go, but I guess not
I mean,
everybody
that
got the
that could
memo.
be
I
a
mean,
big thing
Middleton just
because
got the bag last season, so he should have enough money to do it.
if Giannis is driving in and he's kicking it to Chris and he's bricking, you can blame it on him not shooting a ball for 3 months.
Well, yeah, but you can blame it, but it's still not going to make Giannis very happy going into this possible extension year. But that's a separate story for a
No,
separate
I'm not
time.
saying it's an excuse. I'm saying that is just bad on Chris for not picking up a ball. You're an NBA player.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, how about the first? What do you got on the first?
I mean, I'm kind of biased. I'm gonna go with my Raptors and Lakers.
I mean, that's a good
Not my
one. I
Lakers.
think
I'm sorry. Not my,
I think the last time the Raptors played the Lakers was when Siakam spiked LeBron like a volleyball, so that was pretty fun to watch.
that was so satisfying. I'm sorry to the Braun fans that might be watching this, but Seeing Siakam send his stuff to like the third row, so nice.
Well, I get that. I mean, that's your team. I wish the Pistons would do that, but I mean, this will be the last time we'll probably talk about them
Well,
today because they're
yeah,
not in this
for
list. Can't make the playoffs to save their life. But
and I'm sorry for saying this, but it's not blocked by LeBron, blocked by Siakam.
uh, you're gonna get all right. We're gonna get some comments on that one, but
True though,
it's
it's
yeah,
true.
it was a good block. I think
What?
it's not really got playoff implications, but I think the Heat versus the Nuggets could be a fun game to watch. I don't is that Jokic's first? Yeah, that'll be Jokic. You get to see skinny Jokic for the first time
Yep, you get to see
play.
the Lake,
Get to see
the
how he
Lakers.
plays, whether him losing weight will be good or bad, because sometimes he will rely on him being able to push people down low, but maybe it opens up another part of his game. Maybe he can dunk really well now. I don't know.
Sure, he has muscle still, so I don't think we have to worry about that too much. But his weight did help him down in the post, obviously.
Yeah, but he definitely can shoot the ball, so he might have to
Yeah,
move
for
out
sure.
to that more. Pacers Philly could be good. All right, that's depends on several things. That depends on Oladipo and all that, but that still might be a fun one. Okay, the second, my marquee matchup that day is I want to see the Celtics Blazers. That's just me personally. It doesn't really. I doubt they'll meet this year. They won't see each other till next season most likely, but that'll be a fun one to watch because it's prime time on ABC for the U.S. people, and that's gonna be a big game. Dame's gonna want to show up, and so is Tatum. So that'll
I
be
mean,
good.
for me, I'm not gonna lie, that day's kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You don't think Bucks Rockets is gonna be fun without a fast break with Giannis?
Well, I mean, any game that Giannis is in is fun to
Okay,
watch.
you got me there. You got me there. But I mean, there's some.
Any game that that man steps on the court.
Oh, another. Well, I don't know how interesting it'll be, but it'd be more interesting to see how the final score turns out with the Nets and Wizards game because the Wizards are in the ninth seed now. They're a ways out, but with the way the play-in tournament works, if they can get within four, they can get it. And with the way Brooklyn's is heavily depleted, that team's gonna
Yeah.
tank. That team's gonna tank. If the Wizards can take them out, knock them down one, and just if the Nets keep losing, they're gonna have to play in because I think the Nets are about 7 out, 6.5, 7 out.
Yeah, they're
Not the
six and a
Nets.
half.
The Wizards are 6.5. My bad. But that could be interesting because I really don't. I mean, it'd be interesting to see Jamal Crawford, but he's about 5 years too old to be a real difference maker for that team. Levert maybe, but I don't see it. Okay, how about the
Yeah.
third? Who you got?
I
I can see one
honestly,
already.
Raptors Heat.
Yeah, Raptors Heat. That could be second round.
I see the Nuggets and OKC too.
Well, I mean, a big one for views, and it's on ESPN for a reason, is the Memphis and Port and
Biz- Yeah,
Zion versus Ja. I'm just gonna say it like because
that's pretty much what that game is.
yeah. I mean, they both got a chance at the playoffs, but I think both of them they're coming, but I think Portland will pull in and get that spot. But you never know.
Yeah, it
Memphis,
could be. Have the Grizz and Pels played the season yet since Zion has been back?
I don't know if they have or not. Let me look at the schedule real quick.
Because if they haven't, that's going to be a big game, not only for the implications, maybe, but just for the first chance to see Ja against Zion at the NBA level. Could be a big thing. I
January
really.
31st. Did Zion play that game? He
I don't
did.
think Zion
He
was
did.
in the.
They played once, and the Pels torched them 139 to 111. Zion had 24, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And
Okay.
Valanciunas had 18 and 8. I don't know what Ja had.
So far,
Let me see what Ja.
Zion is the better. Well, okay, I'm not going to say the better player. He
Well,
had a better game
well, he had a better game because the Grizzlies got Solomon Hill to guard Zion. I mean, give me a break.
That's not
Oh,
exactly fair.
Ja had 16 and 3 that game. That must have been good D from Delonzo play. Yeah, Lonzo played.
Yeah,
Lonzo's turning into a little defender, actually. He's actually pretty good. And Lonzo actually shot 5 for 7 that game, so that could be interesting. Yeah, they torched him that game. Zion had 24. Ingram had 20. Lonzo 19 and 8, 19, 8 and 6. Holiday at 18, and off the bench they let Reddick go off for 16, so they were not winning that one.
that's just a team effort, and that's just one of those things that
The Grizzlies, they got
it's gonna win
they
games.
got good with Ja and Jaren Jackson didn't play that game. That didn't help them any.
That might have been a difference maker in
That'll
this
be
one.
interesting to see him on Zion in this next one, but I still got the Pels in that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah, I think
For my August 4th games, Rockets and Trailblazers, honestly, because
Rockets Trailblazers would be fun. I mean, Rockets know
that's just gonna
damn
be a
well
3-point shootout.
they're gonna have the Rockets are gonna have trouble. I mean, they shoot anyway, but if they want to drive, they're gonna have to go through Nurkic. They're gonna be shooting anyway that game. That's what they do anyway. It's not like they got to change what they do. They're gonna have to outshoot because they can't get in the post that game with Nurkic down there.
This
We
one's
got to
gonna
see how
be
Nurk is when he comes back, but I think he'll be defensive monster again. I don't know about the offense. For me, that day, the Heat Celtics will be interesting. I want to see a lot of these Heat games because I don't know whether they're going to face the Rockets or the Celtics second round. And I think it'll be interesting to see the matchups. Did I already say? Did they already play? No, they haven't played already. I
no.
was just trying to. I thought maybe I had doubled up on the Celtics Heat, but they haven't played. I don't think teams play each other twice in this.
See, for me, I'm thinking the Heat are gonna be fine because I don't. I really don't think like I'm not. I don't know. It's definitely not going to be a sweep, but I really just think both of those teams the Heat can win against. I wouldn't say
They got a good
really,
defense.
but
They got a good defense and they move the ball really well. So that's going to be hard for a lot of teams to guard. They did have uh, the Heat's road record was kind of weak though. I will say that. So we got to see if they can get it going in the bubble. We got to see if they play well in the bubble.
well, to be fair, every team is on the road.
Well, I know, but there's teams that play better on the road than the Heat were not one of them. But we'll see if they can adjust. I mean, everybody's gonna be thrown anyway.
Yeah.
August 5th, I got that's kind of a weekday. It really is. But I got probably the best game that day is Chris Paul versus LeBron. That'll depend. We'll see. And I guess probably Memphis versus Utah, just because if Memphis loses games, it's not gonna be good for them.
Maybe the Sixers and Wizards, like low key, maybe. I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
because Wizards are gonna want to keep winning, so that could be interesting.
Now for the sixth, this one's a little
This,
bit more juicy. I'm not gonna lie.
oh yes, that 6:30 matchup with Clippers and Dallas is that's gonna be a
I'm
fun.
more looking at that 4 o'clock matchup because from prior games, we know how
Ooh,
that goes.
well, yeah, that's gonna be Both teams are gonna start rolling. I think we already the Bucks and the Heat. Yeah,
Heat.
definitely. The 8 o'clock game between Portland and Denver, that was conference semis last year. They took that. That was a 7 game. That was the one that in Portland went to 4 OTs, and Jokic I thought was gonna have a heart attack. Because that was the one that I think CJ won at the one with I think he left like 1.7 on the clock, but I mean Denver
Yeah.
didn't do anything with it. But that was 4 OTs. That was a draining game. That was game 6, and then game 7. Like I said, I'm surprised Jokic didn't have a heart attack or something because game 7,
Down
the
the court right there.
Portland downed them and then went on to the conference finals. But that could be a good one to watch.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah for sure. Yeah.
The 7th, um,
I'm going Pels and Wizards.
Pels and Wizards will be interesting because, like I said, the Wizards want to keep winning, and so do the Pels. So both are going to be fighting. You got the Toronto Boston game too. That'll be
Yeah, we know how
interesting.
that. Yeah, they're always a good matchup together. They're always
Yeah.
back and forth.
And I mean, even the OKC versus Memphis game could be interesting because it's a battle of the playmakers with Chris Paul and Ja. So
And no disrespect to CP3, but Jaws literally like how many years younger?
Well, he's got the speed on CP3. CP3, ever since when he was younger and got injured, he's been
CP3
more
should
of a
be
playmaker than anything. He used to fly higher, but now he's not that kind of a player. He's always been shorter anyway.
Now, moving on to August 8th, there's two
Honestly.
that are obviously big.
Yeah,
Which one do you want to pick? I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm gonna take. I don't know. I like Dallas Bucks. That one's gonna be interesting. 8:30 ESPN prime time
Kind of
game.
glad you chose that one because the Clips versus the Trailblazers,
Well,
that's gonna
yeah,
be a dogfight.
yeah. If Dame can make it out of the first round, and the people gotta watch. Because he's gonna be on a tear if he can make it out of the first round. Because he can be hot coming off of LeBron if he can make it. This is all I've been saying this that they're gonna make, but this is all if Portland's still gotta get in. But if they do, I feel that they're gonna be on a
Dame is
mission.
out for vengeance, dude. He wants it.
Dame's ready to go. Dame's next up. He's ready.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, he's even next up. People know about him. He's got to do that thing. He's just got to do something that just makes
Puts him
people.
over the edge even more.
I mean, I guess a thunder shot, but he needs something else. He just needs to just keep.
He needs a ring.
He needs a ring. Okay, the ninth. That's
I'm
got.
gonna
Oh,
take
they
my
got
Grizzlies Raps, dude. Let's go.
Grizzly Raps. That could be a fun one. I think Philly Portland. Ooh, well, we got to see. We got to see how Simmons fits, but I think that could be a really good one because who? I
Yeah,
mean, Portland in that one. I mean, with Simmons down at the 4 now, who's Nurkic gonna guard? Is he gonna guard Embiid or is he gonna guard Simmons?
well, who's a better matchup for Nurkic? Like, let's
Who-
probably say.
If I was Terry Stotts, which is the Portland coach, I would have Nurkic. I would have him attached to whoever's in the paint, and I would switch the off 4 to go to whoever goes out towards the
Whoever, yeah,
corner of the wing, and I just let Nurk sit in the paint and switch.
that's gonna be a good game.
Okay, the
For
10th.
the 10th, I mean, I got two. I'm gonna let you go first. See which one you pick.
I think I got 3 where you got 2, but I'm gonna say Heat and Pacers could be interesting.
Yup, that was one of mine.
Oh, I'm surprised you. Okay, but yeah, Heat and Pacers could be good. We got to see how the Pacers do. Like I said, it's Oladipo's up in the air at this point. We got to see what he feels like that day, if he wants to play or not. And
And then
that could be interesting versus the Heat. If the Heat can get it rolling, you got to see how the rookies like Hero and Nunn and guys like that. See how they're playing in the bubble. Yeah, that's a good one. What was yours? What was your other one?
honestly, just because of last year's series, Raps and Bucks. I mean, like they've played this season already, but it has more implications now and more, I don't know, importance. I mean, they're both going to be in the playoffs, but they're still going to really want to go at it.
Well,
So it's kind of like,
Giannis is gonna be mad because of what they did last year. He's gonna be more like, I mean, you play regular season, well, normal regular season. I guess we're still technically in a regular season right now. But Giannis is gonna be on playoff mode, and he's gonna be thinking about last year, and he's gonna be ready to go at him.
but if we put that wall again, I think we can do it again. I know we don't have Kawhi, but I think we can do
Well,
again.
Kawhi wasn't really the wall up. Kawhi was the guy you put on him outside
If he got
before he
past
got
it,
it.
yeah,
OG wasn't there last year though, right? Because he had appendicitis.
yeah, he wasn't there.
So you got OG. OG's like a defensive guy. Like he's not as good as Kawhi is on defense, but he's getting towards there. But he just doesn't have the offense. I mean,
Well, if I had,
you've got
it'll be
Stanley
Matt Strong.
Johnson. You've got Stanley Johnson hiding on your bench. He can play defense, and I know from Detroit that's all he could do because he'd only get about 4 a game. But if you need somebody, if you can't stop him perimeter wise, just throw Johnson out there. Maybe as a
Siakam,
body for like 4 fouls a game.
Siakam can hold Giannis. He did it last year a few
Oh
times.
yeah. I was just not thinking. Well, yeah, because that would be the matchup anyway. Because Siakam's a 4 and Giannis is a 4. So yeah.
Well, that depends if they put Giannis. No, they would go put him at the 3. But
Well, yeah, depends.
and then my other matchup, Nuggets and Lakers.
Yeah, Nuggets and Lakers. I think Dallas versus Jazz could be interesting too because I want to see how if Gobert and Mitchell can work together because I've heard that they don't like each other, that they're having problems with each other just at like just as people because of what Gobert did in the locker room and gave. I mean, you could say that maybe that's where Mitchell got it, but I mean, if he's rubbing all his stuff, that's probably where he got it. But you want to see if they can make it past that and still play together. I don't know how long they can stay together with that split, with that locker room talk, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But that'll be interesting to see if maybe they'll want to play to just show everybody that, hey, we can still get it done. Because Utah's been getting
Yeah, but
just
I just
dissed
don't
on in the
think the Jazz
media.
have a chance against that Mavs team.
No, I don't. What about the 11th?
11th.
Oh, I like the
I
one
mean,
matchup. I
the
think that's about
Trailblazers.
really all the rest are kind of so-so, but I think the really good matchup is at 5 o'clock with Dallas
Trailblazers and
and
Mavs. Oh, yeah.
Trailblazers and Mavs. Dame against Luca.
Celtics and Grizzlies, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
I don't know. Spurs and Rockets is kind of a rivalry anyway, but I don't have faith in DeRozan myself on the Spurs. It's not a good
That
fit for
team's
him.
kind of weak, I'm not going to lie.
The Spurs, that Spurs team's about as lucky to be in the playoffs as the Suns and the Wizards. But I mean, the Wizards got a better chance of making it in because the Nets, I don't, the Nets are doing their thing. But yeah, so that's my
And then
what.
for Mike,
Go ahead.
what were you saying?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, no.
Yeah.
I was going to move on to the 12th.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say, what other game on there do you really care
Really,
about?
I think all these games that day are decent to watch. Really, I would myself be. I just like to watch anyway, but I would watch almost every single one of these. These aren't going to be bad. None of these because you got
My
Philly
game,
Rockets is probably the
Raptors
weakest one.
Sixers.
Okay, you said
Huh.
Raptors Sixers.
Just because of last year, we know what happened. I think it's just going to be like, they played this year again. I know this.
I don't know
But,
what position is Toronto in the East right now. Let me
well,
bring the standings up real quick. I need to look.
they're third in the NBA. They're first in the East, I believe. No, second in the East. Never
I was
mind.
about to say. Okay, the current standings right now. You got the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, Heat at 4, Pacers at 5, and Sixers at 6. I don't see. Well, yeah, I really don't see that matchup happening in the playoffs because I think the Pacers are going to drop and the Celtics are going to move up and they'll play the Heat anyway. But that'll still be a really good
Yeah.
game. That'll
And then
still.
if you look at the standings as a whole,
Well, I mean,
Raptors are Bucks are first.
yeah, I think the Philly thing though. I mean, if they move up to 5, the 2 versus 7 are in the same side of the bracket, the same part of the bracket as the 4-5. So that could be a second round matchup unless, I don't know, Heat Sixers. Jimmy Butler's not going to want to lose to the Sixers. So that'll be a fight. But if Philly makes it to the second round against the Raptors, that could be really fun to watch.
Yeah.
That's if the whole Simmons thing works out. I'm kind of
Yeah,
leading
we
on
still
that I
don't
think
know if
it's gonna
that's gonna.
work, but I don't 100%. I believe it's gonna work, but we have yet to see actual games yet. Heat and OKC is gonna be good because they're both playmaking teams. They like to move the ball, so that's gonna be quick back and forth. That'll be a good game to watch. And then Clippers and Nuggets. I think that's actually. Let me look at the standings. That might be. Wait, no, they're the 2-3. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
not going to
bad.
be a matchup. If anything, the Nuggets are going to meet the Lakers or whoever yeah, be in that Lakers side of bracket. Oh, yeah, but that's still a good matchup with Jokic and then the 13th, which these games are still don't have a network game yet. They're
Low,
probably waiting to do that to where they know who's going off so they can put it on ESPN. But
low, if he did,
yeah, I think Pelicans and Orlando could be fun. Pelicans and Orlando could be fun because Aaron Gordon likes to dunk and so does Zion, so that could be a dunk fest. Could be.
Bucks
Don't
and
know if it
the
will.
Bucks and Giannis. I know they're two different positions, but
Bucks
two
and
good
Ja,
players.
yeah. Bucks and Memphis. I think Wizards Celtics could be a good one because the Wizards are gonna want to keep winning to give themselves a better
Yeah,
spot. If Brooklyn just straight tanks the whole thing, then Wizards might not even have to do the play in. I don't know
that's yeah.
if they'll be a 4 out. I don't know. Let me see how far. Let me see the games. If they were to lose, if the Nets were to lose 8, they would be within depending on where the Wizards are, they'd have to do a play-in. There's going to be a play-in in the East either way if that works the way I think it is. I don't. Who knows if the Wizards will even get it rolling, but I think they
Yeah,
will. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a play-in. But
it's kind of a
I don't know. Booker versus Luca could be interesting
Luca,
because D Book can go off by himself sometimes. You never know. That'll be a fun game.
but at least Luca has more than himself.
Yeah, Aiden's coming up, but I don't know if he will be an elite NBA player, but we'll have to see him progress a little bit more before I say that fully. And then the last seeding tournament day, who you got?
Heat and Pacers, honestly, like that could be a good game
Heat and
if you
Pacers,
think like, cause if you think about yeah,
Nuggets Raptors.
and
Could be a little
then
Jokic
yeah,
Siakam action going at each other.
yeah,
Pat, I don't know. They're a little bit different though. That's the problem. That's not really gonna be. See, I gotta see how Jokic plays with the new frame. I really do. I don't know if he's gonna be the same. Oh, I don't know if I talked about it. Yeah, because I said Philly likes to get out in a fast break. Philly versus the Rockets is a game that day. I'm changing. That's my thing right there. That's what I say.
I don't.
It's a fast break.
Echo,
Embiid can run. All of
yeah,
them can run. That's gonna be, except the
but
Sixers
every
will be rim
for the
running, and
seven,
Houston will be trying to shoot threes. But I think it'll be a fun, fast-paced game to watch. It'll be high scoring.
every game for the 76ers at this point is kind of let's see how the new system works. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of
Yeah, I mean, by this point, they maybe have switched back to the way they were running and just letting it
yeah,
go.
because this is a bit into it.
This is
If they
eight
don't like
games
it,
in.
they're not gonna
This is
keep it.
8. So this will be where they'll figure it out. I think they'll stick with it, but we'll see how it goes.
And then OKC and the Clippers is kind of
Okay.
just it's not really.
Uh, this it's gonna be fun to watch these games. I don't. It's been so long since we've seen elite pros play at a high level that it's gonna be good to watch.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be weird though. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for this podcast. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. If you made it that far, if you're on YouTube, feel free to drop a like. If you're not on YouTube and you're on the podcast searches, feel free to check out the YouTube channel. It's the 34 Podcast. We'll be back next week.